Hey guys, so one thing I really like to do is cooking, and I don't know, sometimes I'll just go all out, fix fancy meals. I'm actually gonna have dinner today with my friend Megan, because both our birthdays are in January and we've not seen each other, so we're gonna have dinner and desserts. And so I'm cooking a chicken tortilla soup, which I found the recipe off of Pinterest. This is my first time ever making it. I don't think it's gonna be hard, but I just thought maybe it'd be fun to do a cooking tutorial. So here's what we got. So right now I'm just chopping the onions. I've already got the chicken in the crock pot. I like cooking stuff with my crock pot because basically you just have to throw everything together and then let it cook on its own for like hours. And I just, with work and everything, it's the most efficient way for me to cook myself meals. I was cooking a lot more at the beginning of quarantine because I was like, I have all this time and like I like to cook and I want to try new foods. But the number one thing that I don't like about cooking is the time it takes. Cooking just takes so long. Like, it takes hours, and I'm like, I just want to be eating this. Like, I just want the end result. I don't want all the time that it takes to get it together. So like, it's the preparation for me and like knowing that it's going to be so good, but I'm not there yet. But yeah, so anyways, I was cooking a lot at the beginning of quarantine, and because of that, definitely have sorry, onions, man. Definitely. Ooh, oh my gosh. So I just had to take the longest pause while cutting those onions because I just started like bawling. My eyes are burning so bad, like you can even tell. I just cried for a really long time. Anyways, that happens all the time, but it never happens that bad. And so I'm like, whoa, had to take a break. Anyway, so I cut up the onion, and I put that in the crock pot now, and I'm now cutting up the garlic cloves. But what I was saying prior to my cry fest was that I've been cooking a lot in the beginning of quarantine, but definitely not so much anymore because it's just time consuming, and then like I'm not consistent with going grocery shopping, and that really has more to do with it than anything. But the past like couple of weeks, ever since Christmas and like leading into my birthday, I've been trying to cook more and eat out less. So with that, I've been buying groceries every 2 weeks and trying to do clean eating, as well as, oh my gosh, do clean eating and then just like cooking instead of eating out. I only need 2 cloves of garlic here, so woo! I am really still just trying to come back from that damn whatchamacallit. That was wild. The onion. So currently I'm just trying to mince up the garlic. I don't have any method to my cutting madness. I'm just cutting it up as small as I can so that it looks minced. Again, like I said, I am no, top chef or Gordon Ramsay, but I can follow a recipe. And really, that's all cooking is. Let's be real. So now that we have the garlic in there, we're just gonna start adding like the chicken broth. There's chicken broth. The recipe calls for chicken broth. Diced tomatoes with green chilies, enchilada sauce, corn, chili powder, taco seasoning. And this is actually a homemade taco seasoning. I do this all the time. Like why buy taco seasoning when you have all the ingredients, like the spices and herbs, which at our house we have a shit ton of spices and herbs and seasoning. So like I'll do that instead of buying taco seasoning so that we can get rid of some of that stuff. But also because, I don't know, like it just feels good to make a meal from start to finish from scratch sometimes I said. So we're gonna add that stuff next. I'm gonna pause just so that I can check on the measurement, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so from here on out, everything is pretty easy. It's just like opening shit up and putting it in the crock pot. I have this crock pot here. Love this thing. I've said this before, but like, you guys, to be able to set your food and leave it is like one of my favorite things in the world. Because again, like I said, working a 9 to 5, some cooking, the preparation just takes so long and you don't really have the time to do that. So, you know, just having crock pot food, like, you know, pre-COVID, you could start it in the morning and come home and you have dinner ready. Now I'll like start prepping it at lunchtime, and by the time I'm off work, dinner is ready. So it's just like one of my favorite like kitchen appliances that I have, and I can cook some of my favorite meals that way. Right now I'm measuring out 15 ounces of chicken broth to add to the recipe, and then we're gonna do a cup of water, and then the recipe calls for a half teaspoon of chili powder. I'm actually gonna put all this other like wet stuff in there first. For stuff like, now that's if my freaking can opener wants to work. So like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like back in like the old days, I want to say like the 90s, and I feel like they still have these today. They used to have these can openers that were like electric, and you could like set it on there and it would just like hold it and do it for you. I remember my great grandma used to have one, and I wish I had one. So if anybody's feeling like real generous and wants to give me a late birthday gift or Christmas gift, hey, look, I'm in the market for an electric can opener because this hoe isn't even cutting. Okay, so I upgraded to a different one. Hopefully this one's pretty cheap, so hopefully it works as well. Because I personally, yeah, this one's much better. Oh yeah. Yeah, so now we're gonna dump the corn in there. Gonna get the diced tomatoes in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the enchilada sauce in. Kind of wish that I would have got my enchilada sauce in medium just so that there's like a little bit of spice, but I'm hoping that this chili powder adds that kick that we need. So that was a half teaspoon of chili powder, and then we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of taco seasoning. Again, this is a homemade taco seasoning that I made, probably with stuff like cumin, paprika, chili powder, probably some kind of garlic, some kind of like green parsley or oregano, something like that. Again, I do that all the time so that I just have taco seasoning on hand instead of having to buy like those packets at the store, you know. But yeah, now we're pretty much done, so I'm gonna stir it up and turn the crock pot on, and it'll sit for 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna check it probably at about 3 o'clock to make sure that it's not overcooking. And then right now the chicken inside of it is full chicken breast, but at about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, I'll take the chicken out, shred it up, and then put it back in, stir everything up again, and let it cook for another 15 minutes so that everything, like the juices, are just cooking together. And then we'll be eating it. So I will show you guys what the finished product looks like once it's done. Thank you if you watched, and if you didn't, you won't see this.